1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk on the air this morning with Mr. Joe Duncan from the Caldwell County Medical Center. And he's got a guest with him as well today. And let's see here. Pam Talley, radiology tech. My goodness. You're like the important chick that everybody... No, I'm serious. When we go in, you're kind of calming, though. I mean, you've always got a smile because that's kind of that's an edgy thing for people to come in and do. So you probably don't necessarily see us at our best when we're there.
I see them at very nervous moments in their life. I tried my best to calm them down. And
well, you realize we're staring at your face to see where your eyebrows move. And I mean, we do. That's what I do, Joe. Sure. I sit there and I look at them going, wait a minute. Well, does she look worried? Does she look, do you ever think about that? Is that something that you try not to have an expression at all?
Well, I try to be friendly and happy and, this is fine. This is no big deal, and calm them down. I try my best.
Bless your heart. That's a heck of a job because I can be pretty nervous. I'm going to tell you that.
Sometimes it is a very hard job. Yeah.
Well, one of the things I had contacted Joe the other day, and I said, you know what? This month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that is something that is I think, I don't know, Joe, if it's something that maybe we just have that many more cases of breast cancer, or women are just getting tested and are more aware of it. I don't know if maybe that's what it is. But just about everybody either knows someone or is related to someone or, something that has been, affected by breast cancer one way or the other.
Sure. And there's a lot of, so many of the, like the Pink Out and the Pink, kind of breast cancer awareness movements and stuff that are around, I think has done a lot to bring awareness to just the overall issue and the need for screening and stuff. Pam, could you maybe talk a little bit about just how, do you think that maybe sometimes people are aware of the issue, but maybe not necessarily aware of the actual disease as much as they should? You know what I'm saying? Like is there things that you would recommend to people to be maybe more conscious of as it comes to less about the movement of awareness and more about people's personal health?
Just kind of pay attention. I guess bottom line, pay attention to your body. Mm-hmm. If something feels different, say something to your doctor. If you don't have a doctor, there's always the health department. There is a way out there. Pay attention, because sometimes you're going to say, man, something's just not right, but you can't put your finger on it and say, I'm young, I don't need to do this yet. Well, sometimes age is a factor, but I see younger people every day, every year.
Well, we have these myth kind of things in our head too, where we think, well, I'm not because at some point that's when they start suggesting the mammogram. Well, I am only 33 and 0.12 months. It's not an exact science of numbers. It's just a suggestion, correct?
A big myth that a lot of people list out there is a lot of people don't think about getting a mammogram unless a health professional directly tells them that they should.
Right.
And a lot of times it's really going to be at the beginning the patient's responsibility to seek that out and know that know their own medical history and look into those things and not wait for somebody to tell them that it's time.
Well, it's kind of like you said, if you have changes in your body or you feel a knot or you feel,
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't feel right or not. And then some of us do, and we say, I don't want to know. If it gets bigger, I'll think about it later. I'm one of those. I'm like, if I don't think about it, if I don't mess with it, it'll just go away, and I won't have to think about it. Because it's scary.
Or even, people, maybe you could talk a little bit about, people getting one and getting a good result from it and then convincing themselves that they don't need to keep up with it for a little while. I think a lot of people run into trouble there where they have one good result from it and then they don't schedule their next, and they don't keep up with the annual one because they bought themselves some peace of mind. Is that something that you see or warn against? Or?
I do. I have ladies come in, they'll have their baseline, they'll go, okay, I'm good for 10 years. Not necessarily, and it doesn't all the time now matter if there's someone in your family history. I have people I see come in, guess what? But there's not in my family. Well,
Well, and in a lot of cases, I think people are in the mindset of they don't want to unnecessarily bring a lot of, medical expenses on themselves. But, some people don't have insurance, and there's other categories for that. But if you have insurance, most of the time, and of course people check with your own insurance and everything, but most of the time these are covered as regular annual checkups. So there really isn't, if you have some sort of coverage, there isn't a cost associated with it like there usually would be.
Probably as a preventative, where some companies do the wellness things. Okay, get your blood work, get your mammogram. They have a set of go get these, and you get credit for having your preventative tests done.
Well, and this becoming something that you can get over is key to how early you catch it, right? I mean, yes. That's a key factor in, could be life or death, is how early you're able to catch it.
The earlier, the better.
So when they talk about, how big of a lump are we talking about? Are we talking about, hey, this sucker's huge, or are we talking about the small? Anything that you think, is insignificant, or something that, if it's there and it's bothering you, you know that you need to go in, no matter how big it is, right?
Well, yes and no. When people are younger, their tissue is it's thicker, it's more dense. So it can very easily hide when you not realize it's there. I believe the size that before you would notice it is, I want to say, maybe quarter size, unless you do breast exams on a regular basis and do them all the time. Now, a breast cancer on a mammogram is very tiny. It can find, oh gosh, I'm here for a measurement, tiny, something that would be for a long time before you would feel it, and that's a big find it quickly.
Well, if it's something that we feel, hard or soft, I mean, is it that we're worried about?
Anything abnormal, actually, you need to get checked out.
Okay.
Because, when you're younger, fibrocystic, it's a totally normal thing, but it makes you very lumpy, bumpy. Just pay attention. Because now and there's not always a lump felt when it's early. That's usually when it's advancing, when you may feel something or notice a different look in your skin. Just thought, man, something's just not right, and you need to point it out to a physician.
Well, in these days, like, breastfeeding is a lot more popular, I think, in a lot of ways. We went through a time period where it wasn't. Now that it is. Is that something that makes it, more likely or less likely? I mean, does it matter?
Well, breastfeeding, I mean, in a lot of the pamphlets and literature that we have, they do list. I don't necessarily know that breastfeeding reduces your chances, but not breastfeeding can raise your chances. There are some cases of that being an issue.
Oh, wow.
Not to advocate for one or the other. I mean, everybody has their
right.
sort of personal situations about that. But
I think it has to do with the release of hormone levels, the fluctuation that you have.
Okay.
In that, with the breastfeeding.
Well, and these tests are not like they used to be. These
No.
These are much more comfortable situations to be in.
Yes, and we use the little mammo pad. It's a little foam cushion that's on there. So at the very least, it's not as cold as they used to be. You do have a little padding.
Well, and it's not the embarrassing, it's so uncomfortable and so painful kind of thing. It does. You're not going to be there all day either, right?
No, you're in there most of the time 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, in the exam room. The area is very private. It's off to itself, off in kind of a little corner. It's, fixed up nice and girly for us girls.
It is. Yeah.
Well,
breast
back in
Breast
the
Cancer
day,
Month, we'll have little goodies out for you. So
back in the day, they would think about it being a big disruption that day of your life, and that it would be embarrassing and painful, and that's just not the case, in modern day.
No, not near as much, because they used to just believe, just keep going until, and now once you reach a certain tautness, now you do need it snug, but over compression, you're just scaring your patient, but it does need to be snug. I always tell them, bear with me, I'll hurry.
Well, and it's one of those things too where a lot of people think they age out of needing a mammogram. Is that true?
That I'll have the people ask me that every 2 or 3 days. I'm like, you need to discuss that with your family physician, and he knows your family history, and you make that decision.
Yeah, but statistically,
Yeah.
it's backwards from that. I mean, the older you get, the higher risk you are for breast cancer, for sure.
Well, see, I wouldn't have known that either.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, we get these thoughts in our head and we hang on to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, not that I ever do that.
Well, and when people
You know.
when people are talking to their physician about their risk factors, I think it's important for people to break that into 2 categories so that they are talking about family, health, genetic risk factors, and lifestyle factors, because these are two different things that can affect it, and maybe people don't always think about those being connected, but you have to think just like the breastfeeding thing you're talking about. That's really a lifestyle factor,
Right.
not a heredity thing. But you might have heredity, and if you have issues in heredity and issues in lifestyle, that puts you at a combined higher risk for those things. So, people, that it is very important to have a relationship with a physician and be talking about those things and talking about them thoroughly, for sure.
Well, and here's a question too. I mean, there are those that are adopted that may not know, a lot about their family history and that sort of thing. That's where I'm at, with some of that. And it can be difficult when somebody will ask you, well, what's your family history? Well, I don't know. So if you don't know, maybe, mom and dad didn't share a lot about that with you. How do you figure that out? If you're more at risk or less at risk because of the genes?
I think people that don't know their medical history, it's that much more important for those people probably to test more often.
Oh, good.
If you don't, yeah, I know, yeah. Because if you don't know what your risk factors are, I would think you would err on the side of caution that you may be at risk, because that's if you're not at risk, you're not hurting yourself by getting those exams every year, and if you are and choose not to, that's a bigger issue. Well, it can be a mortal issue.
It can be, it can be a life-threatening issue.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I wanted to talk about too. So we're, as part of our awareness campaign and everything, we're having the Community Health Festival on the 19th. And as part of that, in that morning, we're going to do a breast cancer run. This is the hospital has done runs in the past. I don't think that it was ever a breast cancer run. I think they just had an annual one, but we haven't done it for a while. So this is really kind of the first time this group of people has done it. And we're going to be starting over at Dr. Littlejohn's clinic in that parking lot, and it's gonna run downtown and back. And it's $25, and all of that money. So we're giving away free T-shirts. The $25 is really going into a fund that that the hospital will use year over year going forward to get materials to promote awareness. So the things that they give out in the mammography section, like that she was talking about during October, and just other things that when we go out to festivals and the handouts and stuff that we have, pins and all those kind of things. So that money is really raising money. It's more of a benefit type run. And then Morgan's Funeral Home has been essential and so into everything with us on this run. They've printed all the shirts and sponsored those, and they've made some really nice. Jenna Weiner has designed those, and
She's
really
awesome.
Just so good. It's a really, really great logo that she's come up with, and I think people are going to really like those shirts. So I hope anybody you can pre-register on our website, or you can go on Facebook and follow the tab and pre-register, or people can register that morning. I'll have tables set up for both, but I hope everybody comes out, especially people whose lives have been touched by this. I think it's a good way to show support for people who have had breast cancer, breast cancer survivors, maybe people that are dealing with it now, or even just families that have high risk of it, just to bring awareness to the community. So,
well, it seems cathartic for people that, have been touched by it in some way, or a family member has, if they themselves have gone through it. It seems like almost therapy for them to be able to do something like this, to raise money to, go towards awareness for other people.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. I think some of you guys are going to come out for a friend that you guys have and show support and things like that.
I think so.
Yeah.
We were talking about that the other day. I think we are.
And I've heard something about pancakes afterwards.
Yes, yeah. So we are gonna, usually they'll have like water and stuff at the end for everybody, and of course we'll have water and stuff for everybody there. But immediately after people finish the race, they can head over to the hospital cafeteria, and the Kiwanis Club is actually sponsored a pancake breakfast similar to what they do at Ogden. That'll be free for everybody that can come out. And we'll have some sausage and bacon and stuff like that over there. So it'll be a good place that everybody can kind of congregate, fill up after they run, and relax and everything. And then the festival will start at 10, so people can just kind of hang out for a while, and there'll be music and activities. I think it's gonna be a lot of things out there. I think people are gonna be surprised at all the stuff we've gotten together.
I started to say I'm not gonna let him out of here before we say something about the Health Fest coming up.
Yeah,
because that thing, this has turned into a monster, Mr. Duncan.
We've put together a fun little festival. We're gonna have some food vendors out there, and then just other vendors, information vendors, community vendors out there. We're gonna have inflatables for kids, obstacle courses and stuff like that. We're also going to have some inflatable medical exhibits that some of our own staff will be housing, and Dr. Petty and her staff will be out there doing some educational stuff. We're going to have inside, there's going to be free health screening. They're going to have a flu shot clinic going on. Now I know, yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah, if you haven't had your flu shot, it'd be a good time to get it. The first 25 people to our flu shot clinic will get theirs for free.
Oh, wow.
And then everybody else, it'll just be a regular. They'll be checked in like a patient. And
I'll tell you what, I'm supposed to be out there that day anyway. I'm going to be at Health Fest anyway. I'll get my flu shot.
All right.
I'll kick it off for you. I'll be a good girl, and I'll get my flu shot. I'm not promising I won't cry or that the nurse won't have to chase me a little bit.
Well, and there will be a whole section of our other departments that are going to be doing blood pressure and cholesterol and glucose screening and some things like that, bone density. I think will be set up, so it'll be a good place for people to get just some free screening to help them out, and again provide them with information that they can talk to their health provider, their family physician with, and we also will have. Like I said, live music all day out there, several different local bands. And then inside, there's going to be provider talks. We're going to have the UK Extension Office and some of our surgeons and providers are going to be just talking about different health information things, and there will be a raffle that goes along. We have a couple giveaways for people that attend those.
I think that's neat because really and truly, the more you get to know your doctor, the more you get to know your providers, the more you get to know your physical therapist they were here to see the other day, the more comfortable you're going to be to have those kind of conversations. And this is a great time because there has been some people that have retired in the area. There, maybe you're looking for a doctor for the first time in 30, 40 years, This is a great time to come out and shake a hand and get to know them.
Well, and the other thing is like we have a great staff out at the hospital. We have a great facility. We're just kind of out of sight, out of mind out there sometimes. So unless somebody's got to come get a mammogram or something like that. And so I think sometimes people just don't get to experience, like when we work there, it's enjoyable going out there because it's just a nice place to be. So unless you're going to get lunch or something like that, I think we're looking for more ways to give people a way to interact with us when it's not such a stressful time with them, so that maybe they can just enjoy the place for some of the more enjoyable qualities that it has.
Well,
so
to be honest, y'all have pretty good food out there too, because I know a lot of people that come out and eat lunch out there.
I see more people in the cafeteria than I see at Walmart.
I know.
And that's saying something.
And that's saying something because I see Joe every time I go to Walmart.
That's true. That is very true.
We don't go very often, but evidently we have the same schedule about going.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you now. Explain again the times and that sort of thing to get registered, maybe for the 5K, because I don't want to forget about that.
Yeah. So the pre-registration, people can do that anytime now. There's an online submission form people can go and put in, and then they can just pay when they get there. And I'll have all that separated. But people can just show up the day of also and register right there on the spot. That starts at 7:30 that morning, and the race starts at 8. So depending on how quick people run the race, it'll run till 9 or after, and then people are welcome to go over to the hospital where there's going to be a breakfast provided, let people kind of recharge from the 5K, and then at 10 o'clock all of the festival activities will start. So again, great way for adults to get screenings and get some of these information things. A great way for people to just come. Let their kids be out of their hair for a minute, and do a couple things.
I will say, you've got some doctors that are really great with kids out there too. So if that's something that maybe you want to introduce your kids to, and let's see if if they get along, that's a big deal too. So
and a lot of our providers will be on site that day, giving some of the talks. I know that Dr. Littlejohn and some of our APRNs, the nurse practitioner Joe Drawdy and Barbara Hickman are going to be over there talking about some things, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good event.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited about it. We've worked very, very hard and are still working very, very hard to get it all together for everybody. Yeah.
Those chia pets that you put a little water on and they just keep growing until you're finally like, ah! I think that's what happened with this festival. But it's going to be so much fun, and it really is. It's not going to be one of those boring little pamphlet fest things. I mean, it's actually going to be a really nice festival that everybody needs to come out and
I'll come back next week and talk even more about it.
I think it'll be great, Joe Duncan. 8:35, and of course, I want to say thank you. I pick on him all the time, even when he's not here. I think I pick on him more when he's not here. But of course, from radiology, Pam Talley from the Caldwell County Medical Center, we sure do appreciate you being here this morning and giving us the information. Breast cancer awareness is something that if you don't necessarily have breast cancer, haven't ever had to deal with that, then somebody in your family probably has. So
and talk to your doctor about it. And if you don't have a doctor, we've got doctors. That we if you just don't know what to do, call us and we'll tell you how to do it.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a big thing. So use that as a really good excuse to go figure out what's going on with you, right, and your loved ones. 1580 103.3 WPKY. And I'll tell you, stick around for a second because somebody that Joe knows, and I know is getting ready to be in here.
Vaguely.
Just maybe a little. Anyway, Amanda's going to be here in just a minute, and she's going to get us caught up with all kinds of stuff that involves fiber. And this is kind of the fiber optic thing. I've had a lot of questions about people asking me in the last few days about this. So we're going to answer some questions for you. It's 8:33 on Tess and Ty and 1580 103.3 WPKY. Hello, are you there? Are you there? Hang on, I keep trying. I'm going to get it in a second, David. There we go. There you are.
I am here.
All right, hang on just a second. We got 9 seconds, and then we're on the air.
All right.
1580 103.3 WPKY. And on the phone this morning, I promised it earlier, Mr. David Powell, how are you?
Hello? No, I'm just kidding. I'm here. I just wanted to mess with you a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, we have had a lot of questions this morning about this frost that everybody's been talking about that may happen tonight, early tomorrow morning.
Well, what we're hoping for is that the winds will stay up, and at least, if you have at least a 5-mile-an-hour wind, you're probably not going to get any frost. And right now, the greatest chance of frost is going to be off to our west over in Missouri, Boot Hill, maybe far western Kentucky. But I think the wind's still going to be up just enough to keep us from getting much in the way of any appreciable frost. Now, there could be some light scattered frost maybe early tomorrow morning, but more than likely we may escape it. Now, tomorrow night, Saturday night into Sunday morning may be a different story, and that's when we would have a better chance of possibly seeing some light frost. So far, they haven't issued any frost advisory. They have issued some out in Missouri, but nothing has reached over into our neck of the woods, and kind of hope it doesn't just yet. We haven't had any fall colors, and a good heavy frost would probably end any chance of any fall colors for us.
Oh, no.
So I think we're okay with that for right now. We should start seeing a lot of color over the next week if we can keep the frost from messing it up for us. Now, we'll get through all this. We may warm up a little bit going into next week, and then another even stronger front comes through, say, Wednesday, Thursday time frame, and the temperatures behind that are going to get even cooler than what they are expected to be now. We're probably looking at highs only in the 50s as we end next week. So get ready. The cooler weather is here, and it's going to stay here. There's not a lot of signs of any let up to mount anything. If we do warm up, you're still looking at pleasant temperatures. I mean, highs probably no more than in the low to mid 70s at the most.
Hey, that's hoodie weather for me. That's what that is.
Oh yeah. Well, it might be for you. I'm a cold weather person, so it doesn't bother me to get even cooler. But anyway, yeah, it ought to be some really nice times for. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be a really good day for attending the Ham Festival in Katie's, and then there's a lot of other events going along throughout the area over the next week or two. So the weather ought to be really nice, good fall weather that everybody's been looking for after that heat. I'll take this any day compared to that heat.
Oh, I agree. I said I'm getting too old and too fat to be sweating that much for that long a period of time. My body needs a little bit of a break. Well, and I'll tell you, so we might want to think about covering up some of the tender plants over the weekend.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, the growing season is just about over. There may be some late planted soybeans could be in danger. But you'll want to cover up maybe some tender vegetations out there. Like I said, I don't think it'll be a killing frost anyway. We are looking at getting down into the mid-30s, so that's getting close. But until it gets below freezing, we're probably going to be okay.
Well, and see, that just tells me, and that also tells me I need to get on it and get down there to the lake and look at this fall color and before it's gone, right?
Well, yeah, it hasn't really put a lot out. There's some colors starting to show up now, and I think it'll really increase over the next few days and into next week. So, because normally our fall colors are supposed to peak at the end of October, and so it's only about a week or two away. It's going to have to get on it if it's going to start changing here soon.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're everybody's favorite guy when you can talk about milder temps and pretty fall colors, and I don't know what else anybody could ask.
Bonfires and roasted pumpkin seeds and pumpkin
football
bread.
Season, man.
Oh, I love fall. It's a great time of the year to be alive.
It is my favorite.
To be alive.
Oh, well, that's true. Any day above ground is a good day.
That's right.
Hey, I sure do appreciate it. I asked him last second. I said, could you help us out a little bit and go over this frost forecast with us? Because for those of us who do have gardens and do some farming and that sort of thing, that's something that we're thinking an awful lot about when this forecast starts threatening frost on us.
Yes, and then. Well, I'm not even going to say what it's going to threaten in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, so that's another phone call altogether.
Yeah, we'll save that for another day.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great day, David Powell. We sure do appreciate it.
And I appreciate all of you and the listeners.
Well, we will see you over at Hamfest this weekend.
Sounds good. I'll be there Saturday from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the WKDZ, WHBO, WTKY booth there in front of the Renaissance stage. So come see me and say hello, and we'll talk weather and life and every other thing we can think of.
Well, I'll see you there then, because I'm going to be there about 11 o'clock, so I guess I'll see you.
All right. That's great.
Well, thanks so much. Of course, that's David Powell, and he is our resident weather guru. I'll tell you, I love him to death. He's one of those that if you want to know, just ask him. He's going to tell you. Hey, so frost, I guess we're going to have a little bit, but not a ton. Nothing that anybody needs to break out the major heavy-duty tarps for and just covering everything up. So we're not scared just yet. Just be aware, okay? 8:42, stick around. And, of course, coming up next, Amanda Davenport is going to be in here. We're going to be talking about Lyon County Fiber Project. And, actually, I've got a lot of people. It may be a Lyon County thing right now, but I've got a lot of Caldwell people wanting to know about this as well. So stick around. We got that up next at 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Panera has new breakfast wraps. And yeah, they're an easy on-the-go start to your day. But these are no microwave and go wraps. These are slow-smoked Chipotle chicken, egg, and avocado go-getters. They're maple bacon, eggy smoked Gouda bundles of portable bliss. And they all pair perfectly with our new cold brews. All this can be yours in an instant with rapid pickup. For breakfast that's fast, not fast food. Panera, food as it should be.
Right now at VisionWorks, when you buy one complete pair of glasses, you get a second free. That means you could get a pair of glasses and a free pair of prescription sunglasses. So you don't have to do the thing where you wear your glasses under your sunglasses when you drive. Or you can get a pair of glasses and a free second pair with different frames. Or a free backup pair. Or maybe another scenario we didn't think of. No matter what, when you buy one pair of glasses, you get one free at VisionWorks. VisionWorks. See the difference. Offer expires 10/24. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty on Coffee Talk this morning. And, of course, we've got a busy day, and that's just about every weekend, though. I think in our area we get more and more things going on. It does become pretty hectic around here sometimes, and in your house, I'm sure, as well. But the one thing that I have heard an awful lot about it. There's a couple of things that I've heard an awful lot about in the last few days. One of them is frost, will it, won't it? That was one of them. And what about this fiber thing? Boy, you all are really, you've got some people stirred up over this. I mean, everybody's excited. Yeah. It's a good stirred up, don't get me wrong, but, you know, the people in Lyon County seem to be excited, and then the people in Caldwell go, hey! You know, they're excited as well, but they want to see what happens with that because they want it come in this direction. Yeah. And, of course, Miss Amanda Davenport and Wade White are with us today. And let us, what's going on with this thing?
I don't know, but this is Coffee Talking. I can't find the coffee.
Oh,
I showed up without coffee. So I tell you what, it's pretty exciting. It's something that I need people to be excited about, need people to respond to, because it's going to take everybody getting involved and telling us what they want to do, because we're going to let the people lead this and tell us, do you want it or do you not? Because it's not free, nothing's free, but it's a plan that we've been looking for a long, long time, and it can cover everyone in the county, and those are the two important things that we needed.
Well, I'll tell you, when, Amanda's been in here before, we've talked about work ready. Yep. And that's going to go a long way when you come, when you start looking at employers and employees and, even grants and different things that we can get with our schools and that sort of thing. When you've got something like this and they have access to it, that really opens up some opportunities.
Yes, it definitely does. And not only will this be able to go to every single home and business in the county, but we're also working up to set community centers so that people who can't have fiber or decide they don't want it to their home still can access Wi-Fi in the community at close to where they live. So it's not just in Eddyville or in Catawba, but we'll be able to set up community centers throughout the county to make sure that everyone has access to it.
I'll tell you, that makes a huge difference because, you and I have actually talked about it before. I laugh about it, and Todd lives a couple of doors down from me as well. We all kind of laugh about, we don't have internet.
Yeah.
We would like to have, and that's something, Lyon County is just as rural as what Caldwell is, if not more in a lot of ways. And, a lot of the farming communities, a lot of the kids out there, there's a lot of acreage outside of city limits of Ediville or maybe Katoa.
This is what we normally hear in Lyon County.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
It's still there.
You've got mail.
That's some people don't. Some people can't even get dial up now. So I mean, that's a big deal. You take it from economic development. It's important. Just small businesses coming in here and doing things that they need to do. You've got kids that are able to take care of their lessons at home. I'm still dialing
I
up.
tell you
You're
what,
still trying
once
to
you
get
started
connected.
that up, you can't stop
I
it,
know
can
it.
you?
That's the way it
progress. That's what that is.
That's right.
Wade White. That's progress. But what's the likelihood of this when we talk about it coming in and that sort of thing? One of the biggest questions I've heard is exactly how long is this going to take? Is this something that's 25 years down the road? Is this something that, if we get on it and fill this paperwork out, we could start soon? I mean, what is the time frame on this?
I'll lay that out. What they thought was there's in December there's an application that we need to send in to the federal government for the county. And this is an application for the grant that we've got to have in order to do it in the county. But the cities, if they were on board, they could start right away, probably early next year. And as they start, and we're waiting to get our grant, once we get our grant, we could probably start the end of this coming year and be able to finish that within a couple of years. So if everything went the way we want it to, it could all be done in about 3 years.
Yep.
But now,
City and county, everything. But we need to make sure that the citizens want it and make sure that they'll, support this project. But
because it's not going to be free. It's going to be something that's going to cost us.
We're going to have to set a tax rate in order to pay for it. And that's what we're waiting to find out, what that's going to be, so I can tell the people and they can make their decisions. Yeah. But, the one
thing I didn't throw in was judge executive. That was probably an important part of this conversation early on, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we're debt free, and we've been debt free since 2014. Want to stay debt free.
Yeah, that is Lyon County as a whole.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. But that's the county, the fiscal court that I'm working with.
Right.
But something like this, I'm willing to go into debt for because it is that big of a deal. 20 years down the road, they're going to be so glad that we did this because it's going to change everything for our county. It really is.
When you talk about networking and that sort of thing, Amanda comes in a lot and we talk about job ready and workforce development. And that is one thing, what could that do? And the network capability of Lyon County gets completely network capable within 3 years. What can that do to put them in line for some of these jobs and these businesses that are looking?
Well, as far as projects go, Lyon County is a very competitive county on the industry side between our industrial park that has an active rail spur, and then we are the only county that has a river port on a lake. So that means the lake levels are very stable throughout the year, and it's a lot easier for the barges to come in and unload and load again. And we have a really supportive county. We have a really supportive industrial development authority, a really supportive river port board. One of the big things that we're lacking at all of those sites is internet. And so trying to talk to not even just a new company that's coming in, but working with our existing businesses to try and expand. On Friday afternoons when everyone gets home from work or everyone's kind of off early and in town and on the internet, some of our businesses cannot process their payments that they need to go through, especially if they're doing online sales or they're trying to provide customer support.
I didn't even think about that. Mm-mm. That goes down to the very basic.
For our businesses now, or when it goes down at their business and they have to go home or they have to go somewhere else to try and just do functional operations.
Right.
So it's really, this is something that will definitely change just the economics of the entire county, being able to conduct business as they need to. Some of our law firms in town have said they will not be able to process some things and not be able to provide service to their customers because they don't have a high enough bandwidth to provide those services.
Oh, wow.
So it's a huge issue for us.
Well, and Wade, what does that do for our school system? What does that mean for them?
Well, one of the biggest things that they run into, all these schools are trying to go more digital continuously, but You can't expect kids to be able to go digital if they get home. They can't do any homework at all. So that's going to be a big move there. But I think one thing it does is the homes on the lake. People go in, they want to buy this. They've got a business in another state. They can't buy that home because they can't do their business because they don't have good internet.
Well, we've talked about hunting before being a huge moneymaker for the state of Kentucky. You talk about tourism in Lyon County.
Right.
That's a big portion.
Yeah, it sure is. And it's the difference in a home value going up or down. But, it's the new utility, really. Yeah. You look at where I live, I've got electricity, but I don't have water or sewer. So I had to dig a well, and I put in a septic tank. Fine with that. But I can't do without internet.
You can't put a big satellite. Well, I guess you could, but it's not going to do you a whole lot of good.
It's not
just not
reliable.
the same. It's just, in all these homes, everything from the doorbells all the way to the alarm systems and being able to turn your lights on and off. You see all this on TV. None of us will ever be able to do that until we actually have real reliable internet like fiber is. So
well, and I'll tell you, I really, honest to goodness, Amanda, I never thought about when you said, is it something as easy as, making a purchase and, running that card or, filling that order.
Right.
I would have never even thought about it, even at the simplistic way of thinking about a cash register, basically.
Yeah, that's really what it is now the cash registers are digital and people paying so much with credit cards or just even your mobile device. If you cannot pay for something, you go to support one of our small businesses or one of the boutiques and you just want to run in and pick something up. If they can't process that payment, well, so you can't buy that item, and then are you going to go back there? You might go back there once or twice.
I didn't even think about it. I really didn't. And the banks, I guess that would really,
It's an issue for them. It's an issue for really all of our businesses. So just their potential to grow, let alone just to provide service to their customers, is a huge issue. So this is something that we see will just be transformative for the county for years and years. So we think that this is a great project. We just want to make sure that the citizens know how long it's going to take. 3 years is not that long, but we want to make sure everyone knows how long it takes.
Oh, my gracious.
You've got
Look
coffee.
At that. Give me a hug.
When you are in Caldwell County, Wade White, we want you to know.
Tell you what, I come in here, get on the radio, and start whining about no coffee, and coffee gets brought to me.
I'm going to tell you what, Caldwell County now, we've got some of the best ladies, Paulette Gray, before she gets into her car and knows that I told her name. But Miss Paulette Gray, if you don't have somebody that'll help you out around here, well,
this is great.
I'm okay. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, that is something that, you don't really think about, and it comes down to the gas stations. It comes down to tourism. It comes down to our schools. It comes down to all of it. And if we can't keep up with some of these bigger cities, we can't sit and fuss about, especially when we have an opportunity. But we need to fill out those forms. We need to come and to these meetings when they're offered.
Yeah.
We need to get this information because we can't really fuss about it if we didn't try to do something about it.
Yeah, so basically the next two things that we need people to do, just so we know how they feel about it, is we have a really short, it's a 2-page survey. We have it going around online if you have internet, or you can pick it up in the judge's office, at the chamber, at the tourism office. I will bring it by your office if you need one. Basically, it's just a form for farms and businesses to give a little information about their internet needs and their contact information. And then the other thing we need people to do is to come to our meeting on Monday, October 21st at 5:30 at the Lee Jones building. And we're going to have a joint meeting between the fiscal court, the two cities, and the Industrial Development Board, and just lay out the project. We think we'll have project costs ready at that time.
Hope so.
Yeah, and just kind of talk to everyone and see how people feel.
And this is an informational meeting that you can, it's not anything that you have to have a badge to come in and listen to. This is something that, it's in your best interest.
Anybody in Lyon County, we ask them to come, or business owner. So I think we'll fill that place up. I think people are interested. And another thing about WKNT, they also do phone and video. So this could change how you watch your TV in the future as well.
I really hope so.
I do too.
There are some of us over here in Caldwell that are really keeping a close eye on that. Because, I mean, if we are joining counties, Amanda, we've talked about this before, what's good for the goose most of the time is going to be good for the gander.
Yeah, and we partnered when we brought Fastnet in. When we got the grant, it was a partnership between us and Caldwell. And if Lyon County can pull this off, so can Caldwell and so can Crittenden. And I fully expect that maybe that company expands or maybe another one comes in and does it. But at least maybe we'll design the model for our little area right here.
Well, once we get the kind of the infrastructure of the fiber in there, it makes it a little bit easier to expand to the other counties, depending on who's doing it, who's coming in, who wants to kind of grow. But when that infrastructure is here, it's already in place, it's there, you can kind of build off the network, and it makes it a little easier once it's closer.
Okay, I'm going to be curiosity killed the cat, I know, but what about Crittenden? Some of these other, is this something that is already working in other areas, or?
So this is, us working in Lyon County is kind of the first push that we've done for this, but we've talked to WKNT. I think that they want to talk to Crittenden County after we kind of get Lyon County, figure out what's going on with there. But yeah, this is definitely something I see can happen for our entire region within the partnership.
And we want that.
Yes.
We want that. You need several counties being able to get involved in this so we all prosper, because we're so tied together.
Yeah.
Well, and nobody, these days, nobody just looks at that county line and says, oh, I can't go over there.
Right.
I mean, that's the truth of the matter is a lot of us go to Lyon County for a lot of things. A lot of people in Lyon County come to Caldwell for a lot of things. We're joined, and we're joined at the hip. And it's in our best interest to, support one another. And I think this fiber optic is amazing. I really do.
Thank you.
I think that it's cool, and it's something that everybody wants to know about, and make sure that you give them that meeting date again.
Yes, so the meeting is going to be Monday, October 21st, 5:30 p.m. at Lee S. Jones, and everyone is welcome in Lyon County or business owners that own a business in Lyon County. We want to talk to you about this. We want to get your honest input, because if the citizens don't want this, we need to know so that we are not doing something that they don't want. But if the citizens want it and they want it now and they want it today, okay, we'll move forward and we can make it happen.
There's going to be a website set up probably next week, and this website will be for all the citizens and anyone interested to get on there and register who they are, what type of internet they have, and if they're interested in it.
You're really good, by the way. He is amazing at giving people information on Facebook and different things like that. I'm going to give you props for that, because you're really good at that.
And it's on
Tell them where to
Facebook.
find you, though.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Facebook. It's Lyon County Government is what it is, and there's two ways that they can go ahead and get signed up early in order to participate in this website survey. They can call 1-844-910-LYON, 844-910-LYON, or they can send an email to fiber4lyoncounty@wk.net.
Okay.
And those are the two ways you can go ahead and sort of leave your information, and once the website's up, they will contact you and let you fill out the forms that you need to fill out.
How long they got to get it done?
As soon as possible. The thing that's pushing us so fast right now is that grant in December that comes out. And I feel very positive about that grant. It's a big grant. Without it, we can't move forward. So that's why we're trying to move people fast.
And the grant would pay for 50% of the project within the county.
Wow.
So that is really what makes this feasible for us to
Right.
move forward with this, is because we could get half of the project in the county so that everyone in the county can have internet. That's really how we can do this. And the grant is set up to provide internet, high-speed, reliable internet to rural areas. So
And that grant comes from, I think Trump put together, do you remember what it was from?
it's through the USDA Rural Development,
Right.
and it's
Even
called
these
Reconnect.
days, the farmers need to be connected. There is
Yes.
so much that this will really fix in a lot of ways.
And the thing I think that we really like about this plan is that it gets internet to every home, business, and farm in the county. They're going to run down every county road. Everywhere they can go, they're going to go there and make sure that the access is available to everyone in the county, not just people in the cities or not just in neighborhoods in the county, but every single place.
Well, thank you for being here. I'd love for you to come back, especially when we hear about the grant. I'd like for you to come back and let us know how
we
that
sure
goes.
will. We sure will. And Pauletta can keep bringing the coffee over. And
I think we ought to invite her for the same day that
definitely,
you're coming.
definitely invite her because she's got good coffee, and I appreciate her doing that.
All right, tell them again, a phone number, website.
Phone
to get
number,
hold of it.
844-910-LYON, or you can email fiber4lyoncounty@wk.net. And you can find me on Facebook or stop by or whatever you want to do.
All right, Amanda.
Our website is thinkrural.com, but the best way to keep in touch with this project is on Facebook through Lake Barkley Partnership or Lyon County Government.
And it's not just employers to contact
No, employees, people looking for jobs can contact me as well, and we'll keep everyone kind of updated on jobs in the area, jobs opening, and if you're an employer and have jobs posting, send it our way, Amanda@thinkrural.com, so that we can just make sure and fill all the jobs in the region.
And it's
I will tell you.
Think Rural. I say think with an A, but it's got an I in
It
it.
does
so.
have an
It's a redneck thing.
That's right,
Like, I
and
do the
that's
same
right.
thing. If you've never heard, I love that you're together today because this is what we need. If we're going to have the workforce that and have some place to work.
Yep.
And then you talk about being workforce and job ready, then we can head over to the judge exec's office and say, look, what can you do to help us? And he says, hey, wait a minute, I'm trying. So when we work together with partnerships like this with our government, in our county and somebody like Amanda Davenport who knows the phone numbers and knows how to make those calls.
That's right.
That's when things get done.
Yes.
So kudos to you guys.
And a
for
lot
that.
is getting done since we all went together. Caldwell, Crittenden brought Amanda in. It's amazing the difference that's been made. A lot of things happening.
No, I agree. Thank you so much for being here again, Wade White and Amanda
Thank you.
Davenport.
Thank you very much.
Hey, stick around. That's unfolding. And of course, the more it unfolds, the more we'll find out about it. 903 Tess and Ty and 1580 103.3 WPKY. Of course, tons going on this weekend. We got a pork chop grill right out here at starting at 11 o'clock in the morning at Cash Express. Of course, that's going to be for the Beavers family. We've also got Ham Fest going on in Cadiz this weekend. We've got a speed show and awards going on at Fredonia Valley Riding Club. Tons of things going on. Watch out for frost early Sunday morning. 904 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, is due on Capitol Hill this morning for a closed-door interview in the impeachment inquiry.
The career diplomat came up in the controversial phone call with the leader of Ukraine, with President Trump calling her bad news. This is multiple sources tell Fox that U.S. Ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland, will appear for a transcribed interview before House investigators next Wednesday after the State Department blocked his appearance earlier this week. Democrats have also subpoenaed Energy Secretary Rick Perry for documents related to his knowledge of the phone call.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. An Iranian oil tanker is reported to have been hit by 2 rockets off the coast of Saudi Arabia.
Iranian state media said the explosion set the tanker on fire and oil was spilling into the Red Sea. But the latest reports say the crew is safe and the situation on the vessel is under control.
Fox's Aisha Hosni. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Grab the poncho for your Football Friday forecast. Showers and thunderstorms are likely, lightening up to scattered showers after lunchtime.